Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out Eleanor Rigby by the Beatles. Sorry, I just can't sing this stuff. Beatles is totally not my zone for singing. It sounds awful. So I've spared you that. I will have a little mumble along as I teach you the tune. Now in this lesson I'm going to start off with like real basic beginner stuff because this is a great 2-chord song. You only need C and E to be able to play this tune, but there's lots of other little things that you can add in to make it a whole heap more interesting. Now, one of the things that's a little quirk with it is in the verses, it changes the chord halfway through the bar. So strumming just on beat 1 of each bar makes it a little difficult. So what we're going to be doing is strumming on beat 1 and 3. There are 3 sections to the song. The first one that we're going to start with, I'm going to call the bridge. And that's the, oh, look at all the lonely people section. Okay, now that is 2 bars of C and 2 bars of E minor. Okay, real straightforward. Just C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to E minor. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then to E minor. Okay, that's really, really simple. Okay, so looking at the verse now, what we have is 3 bars of E minor, and then 1.5 bars of C, and then just 2 strums on the E minor at the end to complete a 5-bar sequence. Now, most chord progressions are either 2, 4, or 8 bars long, or 12 or 16, multiples of 4 generally. So having a 5-bar sequence in a verse is a little bit odd. One of those beautiful things about the Beatles is they do things that are simple, but with these little quirks that make them really unique and clever. So let's just go through a little count there now. So starting on the E minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to C, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it repeats that sequence again. So having those little 2 beats on the E minor and then back into 3 bars of E minor is a little bit weird when you're counting it and thinking about it, but makes a lot more sense when you think of it in terms of the lyrics. So I'll just mumble my way through the lyrics here. So Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in a church where a wedding has been, lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing the face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? Okay, so it really fits lovely with the lyrics. If you're familiar with the lyrics already, you'll probably find placing those chords in the right place fairly simple. If you're not so familiar with the song, one, you probably want to listen to it a bunch, but you just want to be aware that it's changing in that last, on the 5th bar there of the verse, that it's doing 2 strums on, 2 beats on the C, which will just be 1 strum, and then 2 beats on the E minor, which in this case is just 1 strum. So one more time through that. So E minor, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 to C, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and again 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3rd bar, 3, 4 to C, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's a little bit quirky, but it's definitely something that most beginners should be able to handle with a little bit of practice. So let's look at the last section now, which is the chorus. It is essentially just 8 bars of E minor. So you could just, with your standard old E minor chord, you could be going, all the lonely people, where do they all come from? Oh, but it doesn't sound right, does it? There's something else going on. Now, it is all E minor, but there's a really great trick that's a great one for beginners to have a go at doing, because it involves using little finger and moving it around. So it's a little bit tricky, but it's not impossible. Now the idea, if we start with a regular E minor using fingers 2 and 3, that's quite important. Usually it doesn't matter what fingers you use for an E minor. In this case, it is important. So fingers 2 and 3 in the usual spot, both in fret 2 on strings 4 and 5. Little finger is going to go down in the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. You want to try and get it up to the fret if you can, but that's going to be a little stretch. So at least if you can get it halfway, that would be good. And you're going to need to give that a little bit of pressure, and also make sure that the little finger's not touching other strings. So you want to hear open, 2nd, 2nd, open, 3rd, open. Okay, you might find that your little finger lays down a bit and mutes the thinner string. Doesn't sound terrible, but you do want to try and get it open if you can, and be careful that it's not leaning over too high and muting the 3rd string. Okay, so right smack in the middle, so you can hear all of the strings would be ideal. That chord is called an E minor 7, and it's played for 1 bar, or 2 strums if we're strumming twice per bar. Then you want to move that little finger back 1 fret, makes for an E minor 6 chord. Doesn't really matter the name here, it's just an interesting little chord embellishment. Now you lift off little finger and put first finger down in the 1st fret, still on the 2nd string. This is kind of, I don't know, you could think of it as a C major 7 over an E, or you could think of it as an E minor with an added sharp 5. There's a few different names. Like I said, the name of this actually isn't really important. It's just about this movement, and then you lift off first finger. So you end up with E minor 7, E minor 6, E minor with a sharp 5 to E minor. So we're just getting this little movement there on the 2nd string. Really makes a big difference. So let's add the lyric in now. So starting off with the E minor with a little finger down, the E minor 7, we'd have that. All the lonely people, that's where it moves back. Where do, that's where the first finger's going to go down. Do they all come from, is where it comes off. So all the lonely people, where do they all belong? Okay, now you probably want to start by playing along with the original recording with this, just the 2 strums per bar. Playing along with the original recordings is a really, really great idea. You get the full feeling of the music. It'll force you to work on your chord changes. One of the things that you want to think about when you try and play along, if there's a place that you regularly mess up, where you're struggling to get to the chord or struggling to make the chord change, stop the track and then just work on that one little bit that you're struggling with. Don't just keep playing the song over and over and making the same mistake each time. You want to stop it, work on the one bit that you're struggling with, and then go back to playing the whole song again. That way you'll gradually work the whole song up to a kind of performance level. So one more time I'll take you through each one of the sections. So the bridge section, C, C again, so 2 bars on C, then E minor for 2 bars. Okay, that's the bridge, the oh, look at all the lonely people section. Okay, so every time that's coming up, it's just 2 bars of C, 2 bars of E minor. I'll talk about the form in just a second. Then we got the verse, which is this quirky little 5-bar sequence. We've got 3 bars of E minor, 1.5 bars of C, and then half a bar of E minor. So that one will be Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in a church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream, E minor, 3, E minor, E minor to C, C to E minor. Okay, then we've got the chorus, which is going to be E minor 7, E minor 6, E minor with a sharp 5 to E minor. That's the all the lonely people, where do they all belong? Really helpful ideas to write out the chord progression so you've got them in front of you when you're learning a tune like this. Now I'm going to talk about the form so you know what bits go where, but you should be able to do that just by listening to the original recording. So this is an interesting one. It goes bridge, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Okay, so it starts with the bridge, very unusual. Bridge, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. So let's talk about how we might develop the song. So the first thing you want to be doing is just with that really easy strumming on beat 1 and 3. If you move to strumming on beats 1, 2, 3 and 4, it sounds a little bit more like the record because that's what the strings are doing. Okay, so the string part are going ching, 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 which is 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're not sure about how the beat works, listen to the strings on the original recording and they're playing exactly on the beat in the verses. A really nice way to kind of vary the different sections is to strum just on beats 1 and 3 for the bridge, strum on the beat for the verses, and then I'll show you another pattern there for the choruses. So you might be doing something like starting on the C chord. Oh, look at all the lonely people. So just like it is the most basic version, there are other things you could do as well. Look at all the lonely people. Then when the verse starts, you start strumming 1, 2, 3, 4. Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in a church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Then all the lonely people, where do they all come from? Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down. Okay, so you've got these different strumming patterns for different sections. It's a really, really nice way to keep the listeners interested when you're a beginner. You don't have that many tools or that many fancy chords going on, but you can really vary the rhythm, and it makes it a lot more interesting to listen to. So strumming on the beat is fairly straightforward. So it's literally just counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Really makes it obvious there where that change is on the C chord, going 1, 2, 3, 4 onto the E minor as well. Now for the chorus there, I was using what a little pattern I call Old Faithful, which is down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. It's a really, really nice pattern there for all the lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people, where do they all belong? Now, these are just ideas. There are no real rules. Particularly the original recording is mostly strings and really interesting stuff like that. There's hardly any guitar on the original recording. In fact, I'm just trying to think if there's any guitar at all on there. I can't remember hearing any when I was transcribing it, but there might have been. The main thing though here, the thing carrying it all, is definitely the string parts and those beautiful weaving lines there. One other thing I'd like to mention, a little bit more advanced, is accenting beats 2 and 4. So this is called the backbeat, and it's another one of those things that can really lift your game if you're a beginner and you're looking for something a little bit more. Just putting a bit of an accent on beats 2 and 4 really brings things to life. If you listen to the verse, if I do them all the same, so just sounds a little bit mechanical. Whereas if I make accents 1 and 3 a little softer and 2 and 4 a little louder, it's kind of got more of a a walk to it or whatever. It's got more of a groove. So it's one of the things to think about. No matter what pattern you're doing, trying to get a little accent on beats 2 and 4 can really help. Whether you're doing this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. What I'm doing is tending to strum the thicker strings, 1, 2, and then all of them on beat 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Even if you're doing that chorus there, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. I want to remind you again, if you're a beginner guitar player, that you should be doing the appropriate level for where you're at. If you've just learned C chord and E minor, you don't want to be thinking about accenting the 2 and the 4. Okay, you want to think about getting your chord changes smooth, not stopping, getting your strumming even. All of that sort of stuff is much more important than accenting the 2 and the 4. But what I like to do in these videos is give you like a real basic version, and then the way that you can grow through with the tune and start to get more and more advanced, rather than having to learn a new tune each time you learn a new technique. You can go back and revisit songs that you've learned before and add more interesting stuff to the songs. It'll kind of help you grow as a player. So the thing I want to explain to you now is a nice way to play it without the pick. So this would apply whether you're playing regularly with a pick or not. But a really cool way of approaching this tune, particularly for the verses, is to be playing it fingerstyle. So on just fingers 1, 2 and 3 are on strings 2, 3 and 4. And thumb is going to be playing the bass string. And I'm grabbing the strings and then putting my fingers straight back on. gets a real nice little kind of tight sound. So with our E minor chord, we're just going to be going Father Mackenzie, writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. Now when we change to the C, fingers stay the same, thumb moves over to the 5th string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, gives you that kind of effect, much like the actual Beatles recording there. Okay, Father Mackenzie, writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near, look at him working, darning his socks in the night when there's nobody there. What does he care? All lonely people, where do they all belong? Now if you're doing it fingerstyle, there's a really nice little pattern that I can share with you here for strumming in that chorus as well. So if you do thumb, 1, and then up, down, up with your first finger. So you're just using your thumb and your first finger. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's really important there that you don't let the first finger get too tense, or you get a little kind of catches on the strings. It's one of those ones I find it difficult to do slowly. That, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and nice and light. Just using the tip of your first finger like that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now what that naturally gives you is the nail side of the first finger coming on beats 2 and 4, which gives you that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that nice thing I was talking about, the accent. This one really is a cracker. It's a great growing tune that can be a really nice first step into playing maybe C chord and C and E minor and getting used to those chord changes. But there's all of these different rhythmic elements and some kind of fancier chords that aren't that difficult, but they sound real cool. So I really hope you enjoyed it. Please do subscribe to my channel if you dig what I do. I really appreciate your support. And remember, there are hundreds of songs and lessons over on the website, all nicely organized for beginners. So go and check it out. There will be a link in the description. I'll see you for plenty more very soon. You take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.